Good morning, everyone. All right, hope you're wide awake, or maybe if you catch us later, or maybe you're well into your workday, or on your way home, or at home, or whatever. I can't tell where people watch or listen to these things anymore in this very mobile age. But anyway, just real quick, a judge in California has blocked uh, President Trump's efforts to defund San Francisco as well as other cities for declaring themselves sanctuary cities and defying federal law on illegal immigrants. The White House has called this order egregious. They vowed to fight this. There is a federal court case pending about these policies and what the president can do. And there's no doubt that Attorney General Sessions and President Trump are pushing very hard to satisfy their base about sanctuary cities, and there no doubt there are risks involved in sanctuary cities, and we'll see how this whole fight goes. But I see nothing wrong in, if you're defying federal law, then you should just be denied federal funding. We'd like to see overall things get smaller anyway, but that's another thing. President Trump has unveiled his tax cuts, cut corporate taxes, raised the standard deduction for other taxpayers, thereby increasing their net tax refund, or at least their take-home pay, and reducing the overall tax burden. Step in the right direction. There are no offsets for this, so as it is currently proposed, these plans would increase the federal taxes, well, not taxes, but the budget deficit, I should say, and the national debt would probably go up as well. So they need to fix that and figure out how to do this. But I'm always in favor of tax cuts. I think that's a step in the right direction. And I think the administration really, what they're doing, what they'll tell us, is that they're betting that tax cuts will stimulate the economy because people will have more money in their pocket, and therefore they will spend more money, and that will help. They'll have other tax type of receipts and revenues that the localities were not expecting, and that may be enough. Who knows? Exactly. Kind of have to get into the weeds of this and really figure out, do the math, and see if it really makes a lot of sense across the board. Also, government shutdown looming, but probably not looming. The administration doesn't seem to be overly keen on pushing their idea for funding for a border wall with this budget. But I think, so we'll see a continuing resolution in the meantime, and then maybe the administration might pick up their rhetoric on this and then try to increase the scope of this so that it does include sanctuaries, to be able to take care of these things, and we'll see. Now, there is a Mexican official that has proposed, as a retaliation for a border wall, is to charge an entry fee into Mexico. That idea seems pretty ludicrous to me, and you start charging fees just to enter the country, will be a pretty fast way of getting people to stop going to your country. So, it's one thing or another here with that, and just kind of it's the silly season. Bernie Sanders is going to introduce legislation in the Senate calling for a $15 minimum wage. That will never pass with Republican Senate, Republican Congress, Republican President. But he'll put that out there, and he will, of course, ignore automation and what automation has done to jobs, and has forever changed our economy, making it less important in a sense. So for workers, I mean, this will push out the low-wage workers. There are companies that will not. They'll figure some other way. Time and a half for overtime may be cheaper than paying people $15 an hour. That could really be the case, in that they just use their employees for more shifts, to make up for the lack of workers on other shifts and things like that. But it's something that the restaurants need to look at, because it just increases their costs and will hit their bottom line, and they really can't raise food prices by all that much. So it looks like we can squeeze some money out thanks to the inflation that's hitting out there on food and commodity prices. But we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Finally, Fox News first night ratings of their new post-O'Reilly lineup came out very, very well for them. Overall, they easily won the night. They knew that they would. The question mark there was how would the Five do, and the Five actually held up pretty well against Rachel Maddow report, the show. So if they can repeat that on an ongoing basis, that'll be good for them, and maybe good for cable news overall as it tries to chart a path in a post-O'Reilly world. All right, that's about it for right now. Join us if you haven't seen the Bias Buzz podcast from yesterday. I'm hoping to get that up a little bit later once it's available. And you can see, if you ever want to watch it live, just go and do the live stream, and you'll see it live. Anyway, thanks a lot. Have a safe day, and hopefully it's better for you than it'll be for me.